love this guy. I love my life. I love everything about what I do. I really do. All right, hey y'all. Here to talk to you today about something that I've been meaning to put out for a really long time, that we've been meaning to put out for a very long time, and that is, what the hell am I talking about today? Oh, that is about sourcing your meat, okay? Now, I have a feeling this is going to be the first of several videos because I have a feeling I'm going to get some feedback on this, and then we're going to revamp things just a little bit and put out some more information on it. But this is the best of what we got at this point, and then we welcome feedback so that we can make this better for everyone that comes across this information, okay? So first thing to understand and reiterate is that our focus is real food first. I think this is something that makes us different from a lot of other organizations out there, is that we're not mandating a certain level of quality right out of the gate, because our focus is understanding what real food is and learning how to make that work in a modern lifestyle. I've mentioned it before in many of our talks. Oh, I got mustache hair going in my mouth here. I've mentioned it before in many of my talks, but you know, we have people that come to us that they have a really tight budget. They shop at Walmart, Vons, Smith's, and places like that. Although we are starting to see more organic and grass-fed type options there, still for the price point, a lot of people still buy conventional stuff. And we're always going to say that it's way more important to make the switch to real food, even if you're not doing the best quality real food, than it is not to do real food. So if I've got someone that's shopping at Walmart and getting Walmart beef and chicken and produce, that's a heck of a lot better than eating Pop-Tarts and cereal and stuff for breakfast. You know what I mean? So, and that's not to say that quality is not extremely important, because it is. Quality does a lot of different things. Number one, quality improves nutrients, all right? So the better the quality of the food, the better the nutrient profile that we get out of the food. And let me back up and preface this with, remember our focus when it comes to food, our focus is nutrients, giving the body what it needs, right? Stuff for the body to work with, raw materials. And then the second focus with food is nurturing self-sufficiency, training the body how to make its own energy. Sometimes that comes from fat, sometimes it doesn't. But basically getting the body to be comfortable on its own, in space, doing its own thing, so that we're not ruled by food anymore, okay? So when we improve quality, we get more nutrients, better nutrients. We also start to minimize toxins, and then we also start to do things that are better for the planet and better for animal welfare and plant welfare, for that matter, you know. So improving quality does a lot of good things for us. Better nutrients, less toxins, better for the planet, better for the animals, better for the plants and all that stuff involved, okay? All right, so let's talk about basic quality guidelines when it comes to some of these meats. And this is in the information that you get when you go through the SHT. It's a page called Quality Matters. And even if you do our Real Food Basics class, you'll get this information. Okay, so when it comes to beef, the first level of quality, obviously, like conventional is going to be fine. If you're going to do conventional beef, then we'd recommend sticking with leaner cuts, because the animals tend to store toxins in the fat. And you know, leaner meats and leaner cuts, the protein is going to be about the same, whether it's grass-fed, organic, pasture-raised, or whatever. So really the big differentiator is going to be the better the quality of the fat and the fat components and the nutrients contained in the fat. So when it comes to beef, you know, conventional is fine, but I'd stick with lean ground beef and lean cuts. The next step up is going to be hormone antibiotic-free. All right, and then the next step up from that is going to be organic, and that may not mean that it's grass-fed. So sometimes you will see organic beef that is not necessarily grass-fed. And then the next step up from that is going to be grass-fed organic, okay? So now when it comes to organic, you know, or grass-fed, remember there's not a standardized label out there for the grass-fed term, but typically grass-fed is going to mean that the animal is fed grass most of its life. Sometimes it is going to be grain-finished, which in my opinion, in the grand scheme of things, trying to make this work in a modern lifestyle, like it's really not that big a deal to go from 100% grass-fed and grass-finished to grass-fed and then grain-finished, depending on how long that grain-finished period is. But anyway, what's going to be optimal is organic grass-fed cows, okay? When it comes to pork, what we're looking for, again, minimal level of quality is going to be hormone antibiotic free. The next step up from that is going to be what we call free range. And free range is actually a very useful term when it comes to pork. And then we're looking for free range organic. And then the best level of pork is going to be pasture raised. Okay. When it comes to chicken and eggs, remember conventional is fine. The first step up from that is going to be hormone antibiotic free. The next step up from that, organic, and then the next step up from that is going to be pasture raised, which usually in the pasture raised realm, they're going to have some organic options, okay? And you'll notice these all kind of follow a similar thing. You have the conventional level, and then you have hormone antibiotic free, and then you have organic, which may mean also free range organic. And then you'll have like either the grass-fed or the pasture-raised or something along those lines. That's the top notch of them all, okay? So that's just a brief review of the meats. Now when it comes to seafood, seafood's just a little bit different. I mean, really what we're looking for with seafood is wild caught. I have talked to some different farm-raised producers, including some people from Whole Foods and some other places, that have convinced me that some farm-raised operations are actually pretty high quality. And I haven't figured out how to determine which ones are the best. You know, Whole Foods partnership with some farm-raised programs, they have me convinced that it's a relatively good level of quality, but ideally you're looking for wild-caught, definitely nothing from China. Okay? All right, so a few things before getting into like these different options. Number one, I would get a deep freezer, you know, one of those freezer boxes or freezer chests that you can open up from the top. And the reason is that, you know, when you buy meats from these different sourcing locations, you're going to want to buy in bulk. And the benefit of having this bulk amount of meat is that you can just pull from the freezer, set it on your counter, set it in the fridge and let it thaw, and you've got meat anytime that you want. So me and Colby were talking about this the other day. Usually like on Sunday, we'll look at our fridge and see what we need to plan for the week. And then we'll just reach into the freezer and pull out, you know, several different cuts and things, and we'll put it in the fridge to thaw for the week. And then we've got fresh, super high quality meat that we can use throughout the rest of the week. So getting a freezer is going to give you several different options, all right? So number one, where's my deep freezer? Okay, so you can stock up on things on sale. So here recently at Whole Foods, they had the Welshire Black Forest bacon on sale for half off. It was like $5 for a package. And I got like 4 cases of that stuff, which I think there's 16 packages in a case, because you're just not going to beat that anywhere. And I've got, you know, I actually had to share freezers with Colby in the office here because I don't have my own deep freezer yet. I just haven't been able to afford it yet. But that's my next thing that I'm getting because I'm so convinced about how important it is. So you can buy things that are in bulk, and you can either freeze it with Colby, or you can just buy your own deep freezer and store it for future use, okay? The second great thing about having a freezer is that it will allow you to buy in bulk from like a CSA or like a co-op. And we're gonna talk about those two things today. And then a freezer, in my opinion, is really cool to have. Like, I don't know, I remember like these vivid childhood memories of going out into the garage and opening up the deep freezer, and it's where we had all our, you know, ice cream and frozen pops and stuff like that. So, all right. All right, so first place that you could source meat from is Whole Foods. Whole Foods has a minimal level of quality. They have a step system. They have an global animal welfare system. I'll have links to this information in the notes to this. And I've always said, like, you never have to shop at Whole Foods. We don't recommend that you shop at Whole Foods necessarily, but I like it for convenience, you know, and if I'm buying meat there, even if I get the cheapest ground beef and the cheapest pork and the cheapest chicken and the cheapest whatever, it's all hormone antibiotic free to make it into the first level step quality. So the first level step quality is no crates, no crowding. I can't remember what the heck the first thing is. No cages, no crates, no crowding. Hormone antibiotic free always is the first level of quality, all right? So if you shop at Whole Foods, you're getting a certain level of quality that you're not gonna get at any other store. And then now with their partnership with Amazon, we're starting to see price decreases in even their meats and dairy and eggs and stuff like that, all right? Each store typically builds relationship with producers, which means that versus a mainstream grocery store that tries to price shop an organic or, you know, whatever the piece of meat is, they'll price shop it all over the states and usually all over the world to try to find the cheapest stuff. Whole Foods tries to partnership with producers that are relatively local, and for a lot of us it's going to be Utah and maybe California or maybe Mexico or something like that, okay? The staff there is very knowledgeable, so you can ask them any questions about this stuff that you want. All right. Now, sourcing meat from Costco and places like Costco, like Sam's, you can usually find really good buys on ground organic grass-fed beef. Okay, so at Costco, I think it comes out to be $4.50 a pound. They have packages that are like 1.5 pounds or a little bit over a pound, but they come in 3 packs, and that averages out to be $4.50 a pound for grass-fed organic beef. And in my opinion, that's a really, really, really good buy. Okay, you'll also find organic chickens, organic eggs, organic thighs and breasts, and all the different options that you have with chickens at Costco and usually at Sam's and some of these other discount locations. So let's talk about my favorite, which is the Vegas Food Co-op. And I guess the reason it's my favorite is because it's the only one that I've actually used yet. And my next goal is to use Alpine Ranch, which we'll talk about in a second. So the Vegas Food Co-op has a great story. Years ago, the founders of it were looking for a place to buy quality meats in bulk, and they just couldn't find anything that was local, not any good options. And so they ended up searching for some relatively close producers, and they developed partnerships with them. And so now they take bulk orders from people in Vegas, and they go to these producers and they buy these things in bulk and they bring it to us at a discount. And the pricing that we get is, in my opinion, like unbelievable. Like it's really, really great. Okay. So the Vegas Food Co-op, if you'll read their descriptions for their meats there, they use Berkshire pork from Christensen Farms. And their grass-fed beef comes from a couple different locations depending on when you check in and you go to purchase it. But these options are the best quality that you're going to find anywhere. So the Berkshire pork is 100% pasture raised. Like the animals are treated really, really well. The fat content is just unbelievable. The taste is unbelievable. And it's just it's the best quality pork that you're going to find, in my opinion, anywhere on the planet. And same thing with the grass-fed beef. It's 100% grass-fed, grass-finished, and come from really high-quality producers. And I know they use Bar-10. They used a couple of others in the past. So the price point turns out to be, because what we'll do is we'll get our packages in, and then we'll weigh them, and we'll figure out what it is per pound. For the Berkshire pasture-raised pork, it's about $5 a pound. And then for the grass-fed beef, it's about $6 a pound. Now, keep in mind, when you order this stuff in bulk from the Vegas Food Co-op, you're getting these packages. So you can get a half pig, a quarter pig, you can get a family package, and you can also get what is called a CSA combo package. So let's just say that I get a half pig. I'm gonna get a half pig, not as a whole half pig, and then I have to break that thing down. That would be horrible. You're getting a half pig that is already broken down into all its various cuts, and it's vacuum sealed, individually wrapped. And I'd say the serving sizes are usually for about 2 people or something like that. I don't know if they plan that, but usually you have like 2 pork chops in a vacuum sealed package. So you get these boxes in, and you have them all individually vacuum sealed, packaged, and frozen. And that's just extremely convenient. You know, you just take that stuff, pop it in the freezer, and then you pull stuff out as you need it. And it's in small servings, and it's vacuum sealed, so you keep a lot of the freshness and quality. It's really, really great. Same thing with the beef. So we'd recommend, when you do the Vegas Food Co-op, you can do a la carte stuff, like just get like bacon or maybe some ground beef or ground pork, but I wouldn't do that because that's not where the savings are. I would do a quarter pig, a half pig, a family package, or a CSA, and they give descriptions of what each one of those things give you. And I know for me, I was very hesitant because it was just a big unknown. I had never done this process before, so I wasn't sure what I was paying for and what I was going to get. And I can tell you right now, you're going to be extremely happy with what you get. And once you do it the first time, then it's like, okay, I get it, I understand it. And you'll want to do it again in the future, okay? All right, so any questions on the Vegas Food Co-op? That's my favorite. It's the only one that I've used. I know the price point's really great, but we have great reviews from these other sources as well. Another great place to order from is going to be US Wellness Meats. Now, US Wellness Meats price point is not going to be that great, but they're very dependable and reputable. Any of the holistic, real foodie, paleo, primal, Weston A. Price people are going to refer people to US Wellness Meats, and you have a lot of different options there, from pork to chicken to beef to organ meats to, you know, things that are already pre-cooked like liverwurst and Boschwager and head cheese and all kinds of different options. Price point is not as great as going through like a local CSA or co-op, but you still have an option there to order some really, really good quality meat. All right, the next one is Slangkurz. Now, Slangkurz, I remember when Colby and I first started working together years ago, before he opened the gym, before I opened my office, and we were working out of his garage together, we ventured in and ordered from Slangkurz as a group, and really good quality stuff. Like the price point, if I'm not mistaken, is about $8 a pound for ground beef, $10 a pound when it comes to the packages, meaning that when you get these packages in, you're getting ground beef, you're getting you know, steaks and roasts and all these things, and that averages out to be about $10 a pound. Or if you just order ground beef by itself, it's about $8 a pound. Really good quality stuff. Colby swears that the meat, in his opinion, tastes different and better than the grass-fed beef that comes from the Vegas Food Co-op. and I haven't really tested that theory out to see. Okay. Now the next one is Alpine Ranch. Alpine Ranch, we have a lot of people that use Alpine Ranch, and Alpine Ranch, if I'm not mistaken, is in Utah, so it's a relatively close ranch. So some of these people are going direct to this producer, and this producer makes visits at different cities, and Las Vegas is one of them. On average, you're looking at about $6.50 per pound for beef, and then ground beef, and then $7.60 per pound for packages, and that includes all the varying cuts. So again, you order a package, you order a half cow, quarter cow, and you get all these different cuts, and that averages out to be about $7.60 a pound. That's a really, really good deal, and anyone that's used Alpine Ranch has said it's really, really great. So now when it comes to sourcing seafood, again, you have different options here locally. I probably need to eat more seafood than I do, but I do try to get oysters in on a regular basis, and I try to get mussels from Whole Foods in on a regular basis. So when it comes to seafood, you know, you can get canned seafood, you can get fresh seafood. I think just getting seafood in general is going to be extremely helpful versus not getting it at all. You definitely want to look for wild caught if possible. There are some quality farm raised programs out there. Never get anything from China. And I said that the Whole Foods farm raised program looks very promising. Anyone in the holistic, paleo, primal, Weston A. Price realm is going to recommend Vital Choice as their online place to get quality seafood, and it comes delivered vacuum sealed, frozen, just like with the Vegas Food Co-op and these other options. So if you're looking for good quality seafood and the price point at Whole Foods or Sprouts or wherever it is that you're shopping doesn't have what you're looking for, then I would try Vital Choice for sure. Okay. Now, just something to keep in mind, whether you go with, I would recommend trying the Vegas Food Co-op or Alpine Ranch, and then Slangkurz is your third option. I would actually bounce between Vegas Food Co-op and Alpine Ranch. And just keep in mind, when you buy these bulk packages, whether it's the half pig, quarter pig, half cow, quarter cow, family package, CSA package, which has a combination of beef and pork, when you're doing this, you're getting a variety of cuts that are coming in vacuum packaged, vacuum sealed, for your convenience, frozen. You can throw them into the freezer and then pull from it throughout the week. The price point is great. The quality is top notch. You're not going to find anything better. I would start with maybe the Vegas Food Co-op. When you go to the Vegas Food Co-op's website, you'll see that the Vegas Food Co-op has a calendar, and you need to see when their next drop date is. They usually have drop dates once every 2 months. So I think, you know, depending on when you watch this video, probably this is not going to be relevant, but I think our next drop date is going to be October 6th or somewhere around there. And so you need to place an order now, and then you have to show up at that location. They have 2 different locations in Vegas that you can pick up your meats from, and then they just have this big trailer and people handing out the meat, and they check you off, and you go through the process, and it's great. All right, Alpine Ranch, I haven't gone through the process, but it's the same experience, I'm sure, and super simple. Okay, we'll give you instructions on how to do that here in just a moment. Other resources to look for are going to be local farmers markets, so you can go to localharvest.org to find local farmers markets, and you can always go there and strike up conversations with different producers because they usually show up at these different farmers markets. You can also go to eatwild.com. It's a really good resource. I remember using this years ago when I first started all this information. And at Eat Wild, you can actually find all these different local producers, you know, so you can find places like Alpine Ranch and Christensen Farms, but you can search by zip code and it will give you different grass-fed beef and pasture-raised pork producers, and you can contact them directly and see if you can't strike up a deal. And if you find any good finds, just let us know. I mean, that'd be great to add to the list of stuff here. Keep an eye out for CSA shares, meat shares, and then co-ops, because sometimes they may pop up here in the near future, and we'll want to look for those things. And also, by the way, if you're not in Las Vegas and you're watching this from somewhere else, same rules apply. Like, you know, look for a local CSA, food co-op. You can use Eat Wild to find something close to you and experiment and do a little bit of research. And it takes a little bit of work, but guess what? It's totally worth it because you're putting this stuff in your body, and it's your TLC that's going into the research and also the foods that you get. So now, this is what I do personally. This is how I eat all my food, and this is how I get my quality stuff, okay? Number one, I buy local, fresh produce from Whole Foods. Okay, for me, that's the most convenient option for produce. All right, so I go to Whole Foods, I use my little Dirty Mothers and Clean 18 guide that we put together in our shopping notes, and I go there and I buy my ingredients for Bobar, and I get greens, and I cycle through all that stuff every week, and I get fresh fruit, you know, and that's it. I do all my produce from Whole Foods. I buy my bulk items. Some bulk items I get from Costco, like my Kerrygold butter. Sometimes I'll get heavy cream from Costco, the Horizon, although I prefer the the Clover brand from Whole Foods. Sometimes I'll get like some packages of grass-fed ground beef, organic from Costco, but usually I get most of my meat from the Vegas Food Co-op. So I get local produce from Whole Foods, I get some bulk items from Costco, and then I get most of my bulk meat from the Vegas Food Co-op. And that's how I do things, okay? If you have better or different information, please just let us know so that we can add this to this thing, and then we will do another video in the near future. Okay, guys? That's all we got today. Hope this is helpful. I know it's helpful. If it's not as helpful as you need it to be, just let us know what you need. Okay? Thanks. All right, we're going to take you through the buying process for the Vegas Food Co-op, and then we'll visit our other couple little websites. So go to vegasfoodcoop.com, and then this is the opening page. And the first place that I would go is scheduled drops to see when the next drop is, so you know when you can get your next food. So here in this month of September, we don't see any scheduled drops. So if I go to October, there we see 2 drops. All right, it's on the same day, October 6th. We have a drop at 5 p.m. at the Fulton place, and then we have a drop at 6:30 p.m. at this other location. And if you plug in the address, obviously you'd see where that is. So now knowing where the drop is and when the drop is, you can plan accordingly, and then I would go and purchase your meats. This would be the priority. So you can do pasture-raised pork, and this is what I typically get. And here they usually have some information about the next drop date and times and addresses and things for pickup. And then you come down here and you can choose your options. So you can see you can get a lot of things a la carte, but it's going to be more expensive. Some of this stuff though is great, like the chorizo is amazing. What else have I had? The bratwurst. Some of those things you're not going to get in these packages, so it might be worth you venturing out and getting some of this stuff. I keep a big tub of lard, so I forgot to mention that. Big tub of lard at home, so you can get it's pasture raised and it's processed properly. So, but anyway, like you'll want to get either a family package, and you can see here there's a $150 down deposit, and it tells you about how many pounds of pork and beef that you're getting. Or you can do a whole pork, or I typically am going to do a half pork or a combo CSA. So the half pork doesn't contain any beef, and the combo CSA does contain pork and beef. I've always done the cured because the cured is the seasoned ones. I haven't ventured into the uncured just yet, and I'm getting some clarification on what the huge difference is. I mean, I understand what curing is, but there's different definitions based on different producers. And, but I would start with either the combo CSA, a half pork, or a family package. And it'll require a deposit, and it will give you some information about hanging weight, and then you'll have to pay the rest of it once they actually butcher the animal and process it. And then once you get your stuff in, you can actually weigh it and see, because they'll give you a hanging weight cost, and then you can see what it actually costs when you get it in. And every time I've done it, it's been around $5 a pound for the pork and about $6 a pound for the beef. Okay? And then also you can come up here and see if they have other things. So sometimes they have pasture-raised eggs available, and it looks like they do right now. And these are pasture-raised. You know, the yolks like look bright orange the times that I've gotten them. You can look at seasonal items. So right now they have heirloom tomatoes. Sometimes they're going to have things like raw honey. So you can see over here on the right-hand side, raw honey. I don't know that this is available right now. Excuse me, that was me sneezing. Yeah, I don't know that you, yep. So it's not available right now. Oh yeah, maybe it is. 5-pound tub. Not available. Okay, so anyway, it would be listed up here if it was, okay? All right, so if we go for, if we want to look at Alpine Ranch, the address is alpine-ranch.com, and we come here, and they have a slightly different setup, but you can order different products, right? And then they're going to come in similar varieties. So you can get like nothing but ground beef, you can get bones, you can get the combo beef and pork. Their pork is really good quality as well. So I'm definitely going to order from Alpine Ranch next time just to get a comparison on the taste of everything and also on the cost. And then the one that we mentioned that Colby likes, Slangkurz grass-fed beef, has a different address. Oops. I typed in Slangkurz grass-fed beef. All right, so that would be right here. The address is not the same text. Okay, so here, and you've got different options, and I can't remember the last time that I ordered here. So anyway, all right, hope this helps, guys. Thank you so much.